We all know that we like JoJo here. I mean, my whole room is literally JoJo. It's an entire room of JoJo. So I thought it would be fitting to assemble many of the English JoJo voice actors. And we could just ask them some questions. And you guys in chat can also ask them some questions. I know you guys have many questions. I'm sure they're probably not safe for work. I'm sure most of them are not safe. All right. Oh, hi guys. How you doing?
Hey.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Unfortunately, Tiana's webcam isn't working, but that's fine.
What do you mean? That's Tiana right there.
Yeah, basically.
We should start off by introducing everyone and who they play in JoJo. I, of course, don't play anyone, sadly. I can dream, though. But, of course, we have Brittany.
Hi, I'm Brittany Lotta. I voice FF Foo Fighters in Part 6.
Hi, my name is Yong Yeah, and I play Enrico Pucci in JoJo Part 6.
What's up? I play Jolene Cujo, and I was saying when I said that on a panel last weekend that it still feels so crazy to say that, right? Like that I'm the English voice of Jolene Cujo.
Hello, I'm Casey Mangelo. I play Emporio in Stone Ocean, which is really, really cool. I was gonna wear my hat and I forgot. Whoops.
No! Stream is ruined.
Hi, my name is Tiana Camacho. I play Hermes Costello in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stone Ocean.
Were you all familiar with JoJo's? Akira, I already know this answer. Before you all were voicing in JoJo, was everyone familiar with it here? I'm just curious.
My brother had introduced me to JoJo. I'd seen enough parts that by the time that I kind of started my voice acting career, that I was like, I definitely want to do this someday, maybe years down the line. But it came a lot sooner than I expected. And I mean, the role, I mean, it's I never would have dreamed that I'd be here. So yeah, this is pretty crazy. I still have not read parts 7 and 8. That's what I'm gonna try to work on next. Other than that, I'm caught up and excited to see how this the season's fully animated all the way through. I'm pumped.
Did you want to get the specific character that you ended up voicing, or was it just kind of like I just read for it and it worked?
When auditions came out, Foo was not in the initial batch, and I immediately responded, and I was like, I would like to read for Foo, Foo Fighters /FF, and they were like, oh, they're not auditionable at this time, and I was like vibrating, and then because I really did, I really liked them. When the audition eventually landed in my inbox, I got it from my agent, and I screamed, and I was like, I got an audition for this thing. When I got cast, my agent sent Matt an email and was like, Brittany booked FF and I would like to call and let her know. And so we were making breakfast or something, and Matt had given him my number, and then he called me, and Matt was like, you have to pick that up right now. And I was just so overwhelmed and was so excited. We were just so distracted that we left our breakfast on the table and the dog stole it.
Oh no.
So she even celebrated.
Everyone was eating good.
Just reading up on the character, and I did a little bit of research, obviously, before even being I really want this part. She's a really cool character, and she's one of those characters that's strong, but she's friendly. It's not a difficult line to walk, but it's not something I see in a lot of female characters, especially female characters of color. So when I got that audition, I was just like, shit, I can't waste any time.
I saw the chest, and I'm sure they're all dying to know this one. Do you guys have a favorite JoJo meme? I think I've asked this previously, but chat always wants to know.
Okay, well, I have a couple. I mean, It Just Works is such a classic one, and I love that it was actually acknowledged at one point by the guitarist from King Crimson on his Facebook page. And then everything related to Dwayne memes is just top tier. You always know who some of the more old school JoJo fans are if they had to read Dwayne, because that was all that was available.
Big Chungus is my favorite meme.
Yes.
Oh god.
Part 3 has a lot of memeable moments. One meme that I just use a lot is the yes.
Same. I love that one.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god.
Yes.
That's kind of the
God. Honorable mention, Kakyoin's Rero Rero Rero.
True,
man,
yeah,
of course.
that one's great too.
That one's pretty cool.
Part 5 had that moment that I still don't get why it happened when they start dancing while they're torturing the guy. Why did they just start dancing out of the...
no one knows.
I couldn't tell if that was a power. They just we can just do this because we feel like it.
I'm curious because, JoJo characters are often quite known for being quite eccentric, quite out there. Was there anything about any of your characters that was specifically quite hard to record for? Or was it all just I know what I'm doing. I know JoJo. This is easy.
For me, with Hermes, the thing about her is that horrible crap just keeps happening to her.
Yeah,
can't get right.
too.
Like she's getting injured. She had to deal with police brutality. Some dude almost kills her like a million times and tries to drown her. So, my dude, come on. This is a lot. First of all, as an actor, you have to occupy that headspace of living in the moment without it affecting you too much emotionally, which is whatever. For me, it's the vocally stressful parts. She projects a lot.
Yeah.
And because of the constant being electrocuted and drowning and beaten and stabbed and all these other things that happened to her. Luckily for me, I placed Hermes in vocally in a place where she can slide a little bit to minimize all of that. It wasn't really anything I felt I couldn't handle or I wasn't prepared for. It's not something I initially thought of when I auditioned for it and booked it. It ended up kind of just happening as I went along because of all the stuff that happens.
Casey, how was it to voice your character, given that you didn't really know much about JoJo?
I still don't know a whole lot about it. As I'm working on it, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. I'm like, oh, this is weather report. Oh, he sleeps in the piano. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. But it's fun. I'm pretty much learning it as I go along. I like to kind of go in fresh with this stuff. I'm just kind of going along for the ride with this one, and it's just a lot of fun. Even though I don't know what's going on a lot of the time, I'm like, oh, now Emporio is kind of warping through a wall. That's cool.
Do you find that there's much difference in the shows that are recorded from home and the ones that are in studio, or is there not really much difference at all?
My husband and I, we own Kocha Sound, and we produce the dubs for Akudama Drive and Kemono Jihen. It was done entirely by the two of us and our mixer. I didn't feel like we had a quality difference because he was able to take care of a lot of the noise removal and equalizing to make things kind of all sound similar. Because of that, I can cast people like you, Connor, who is in Spirit Chronicles.
Thank you.
And not have to worry about where you are. But when I sent that off to my producer, I was like, I want to use this guy. They were like, yeah, it doesn't matter, he's in Japan, that's cool. Space. There's so many more people you can use, and there's so many more things open to you. It does suck because some actors don't like recording from home as much. That's a bummer. From the creative perspective, it's really freaking awesome. If you got cast in JoJo's, would you wear your JoJo suits into your sessions?
I feel like I'd have to, right?
Yeah, you do.
I have been the only one promoting them outside of Japan. I'm like, guys, everyone needs to own a JoJo suit. You need to get one. They're really fly. They're amazing. The Giorno one is so good. I saw someone who said earlier in the chat, and I think this is, I'm sure you guys can clear this up. They said that sometimes you would be sent a booth or you would build your own booth. And I believe you got, when you want a booth at home, you have to just figure it out yourself, right? The studios aren't going to help you. They don't. It's not their job.
Yeah. The only thing I would not get used is an interface because that will actually wear down with time. If you can get a cheap interface brand new, but get a really good preamp, then you're good to go.
I have literally right next to me this walk-in closet, and I just bought a bunch of acoustic foam. Have them kind of all over the walls and the ceilings.
Man.
And
it works.
Some blankets here and there. Yeah, and then a stand, a mic. It's pretty put together. It's not nothing fancy, and you really don't need anything fancy. I've done JoJo there, all kinds of professional productions and auditions.
Yeah. A friend of mine who records for Family Guy and American Dad does it out of his closet, and when he sent me a photo of what it looks like, I'm like, your soundproofing is shirts. T-shirt.
It works.
I guess it works. And I'm like, that goes to show that engineers and editors are really freaking good at their job.
How did everybody get started in voiceover here? I'm sure a lot of people in the chat would like to know how you guys got into it, and I guess how they can try and do it as well.
So kind of the short answer I tell everyone is I just did stuff on the internet for years and years. I think a lot of people kind of assume there's one traditional way to get in, and it's really just kind of about everyone's individual journey and path. So, for me, it's Flash animations were really big back when I was getting started. I'm probably showing my age here, but YouTube and things like that, were really a thing when I first started. So I would email animators and be like, hey, do you need a voice for your Flash animation? Because a lot of times they just do the voices themselves or use a text-to-speech voice or something. So, I would just kind of I made a crappy demo and was like, hey, I do this kind of stuff. Of course, the big one is learning to act. You don't necessarily have to do theater or something if that's not your thing. That wasn't my thing personally. But, the ultimate thing that it comes down to is, can you portray the character believably? There's so much emphasis put on voice and, oh, what does my voice sound like? And can I sound like this character? And, you know, sure, voice print matters in terms of where people are placed in a cast and things like that. But, like, if you listen to me, like, I sound like a normal person when I'm talking. I don't sound like Jolene, right? You know, I
kind of sound like an anime character, but
yeah, a little bit, maybe,
you know,
yeah.
it's like, it's different, you know, like that versus if I dropped into the yada yada dawa or something like that. But, you know, it's just like, you can train your voice to do whatever, but the acting is what's going to get you cast for the role above most other things.
Facts.
If you don't have the money for classes, there are free resources online. You can even watch YouTube videos from like reputable teachers and things like that, and just study acting technique the best you can.
It's about the acting, not the voice.
Yeah, to kind of like highlight that, the voice that I use for Pale Snake, the character I keep in mind for that is Patrick Starr. You know, it's kind of a more rounder McQueen, but like the performance is what separates Patrick Starr.
I'm not going to be able to watch it now.
Like,
I'm not going to be able to watch it.
Reference that I start from before, like tuning it to Whitesnake, is Patrick Starr.
Someone's got to clip
his
that.
voice for like creepyfied and made a little more, you know. So like that goes to show like voice is one thing, but I mean there are many times where I've like used a similar voice profile, but the characters feel vastly different because they behave differently. They're just different people, and so you gotta if you can show that.
This is now canonically tied Patrick Starr to the JoJo universe. I think oh my god,
made him a whole lot less intimidating.
yeah, I think so. I'm sure you guys can relate. I really want to go to anime conventions again. I mean, maybe you guys can go to anime conventions now, right?
I just did 2 in the last month and a half or so. I'm not used to it. I'm just used to being in this booth or a booth in a studio, isolated, like totally freaking isolated by myself. I hear the voice of the director, and I don't even see anybody. I do the work. That's it. I have no idea where it goes. I have no idea how many people watch, or we don't know until someone comes up to you going, I heard you in this thing and like it changed my life kind of thing. And I'm just like, really? Like, and people can say really nice things on social media. Like, I love doing this. Like, oh, that's so cool. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm so socially awkward. I don't really like to do cons because I'm just like, oh, I'm weird. I don't know what to say ever. And it's weird to talk about this stuff. But for those moments, you have your days where you're just kind of like, and you think of moments like that and you're just like, yeah, that was worth it. That was like, you know?
I won't keep you guys too long, so I'll ask one more final question for you all. How do you deal with, obviously in anime specifically, there's a Japanese dub already available. How is it kind of doing the dub and having that in the back of your head and you know, knowing that you might be compared to it? How do you kind of work with that?
When people get really mad about anything that's changed and they get so passionate that they get vitriolic about it, there's a big difference between being a fan of something and making you being a fan your identity. If you've made being a fan your entire identity, as opposed to the experiences that you've had, or the things that you've learned in your life, or your lived experiences that are outside of your control because of who you are as a person, then unfortunately, that's something you have no control over because it's not really yours. It belongs to companies in Japan or these other places. This does not belong to you. It belongs to the creators that have a vision that we are paid to go into a session and honor. That's really all it is. And for me personally, I base all of my voices and everything off of what I hear in the original Japanese cut. If I can get a scene of it, I pull from there. I'm trying to match it as closely as possible. A lot of other voice actors in English do the exact same thing. So it's like, you're just upset because your identity was challenged, because something was changed, and now you have to rethink what that is and unpack it. And that's really all it boils down to. And we're not responsible for that.
Like I said earlier in this whole thing, like, I love Maria Issei's work. So like playing a role that she played as well was really exciting, but I'm not her. And I don't have her chords, and I have what I have. For me, as both an actor and a director, a big part of my approach is like, okay, I process what the Japanese does. I process how they handled it, their ups, their downs, how they brought intensities, where they brought their unique vocal print in, the emotions they played. But I'm playing the character, and I'm going to do with my voice and the script I'm being provided what is best for the established character. And sometimes that might be playing it as the Japanese did, and sometimes it might be playing it in my own way to accomplish the same feelings and vibes, but it's in the English language and we might attack things differently, if that makes sense, to try and bring a certain naturalism or adaptation into it.
Thank you. These are all like very good takes. I'm glad we got to discuss that and all the other things as well. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. I really appreciate you guys giving me your time today.
Thank you for having us.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm glad to do some more educational and chill streams where we can just talk about things. So I really appreciate you guys coming on today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, hope I get to have you guys on again in future another time.
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
Absolutely. This was great.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was the JoJo Part 6 voice actor panel. If you want more interesting streams like this or just generic videos, why not subscribe to the ConnorDawg YouTube channel, which you can do by smashing that subscribe button. And you can go to twitch.tv/CDawgVA to come watch me live. I'm live quite a lot of the time. So what are you doing? Come check it out. Bye.